Next, we'll be talking about knowledge management, right, which is critical for many organizations to bring to things like an intranet to life or a vast repository of research reports or documentation, maybe heavy technical documentation, support communities. So I'm excited to pass this over to Lucy and Jill to walk us through this use case. Take it away.
Thanks, Kristen. So within the concept of knowledge management, a lot of our customers don't start their work in Brightspot. In a very similar way to how Chris just showed, you can leverage the power of Brightspot's enormous range of out-of-the-box integrations. We see a lot of teams start from content planning tools like Asana and other kind of Kanban task level boards. So in this case, you might move this new bottled drinking water task in Asana through a workflow and then upload it into Brightspot automatically. Again, this is just another example of the huge range of out-of-the-box integrations and possibilities that are now available in Brightspot. We see a lot of our customers, including in the consulting and media space, leverage this kind of flow. So it's all an extension of our effort to meet customers where they are. So your editorial team shouldn't have to be swivel chairing back and forth between Brightspot and the tool where they spend the most of their time planning. They should be able to kind of trigger that flow automatically and that pipeline from their tools into Brightspot. So there's our bottled drinking water article all ready for us to get going. So now that it's ready to go and ready to, all the body of that content has been published, let's enhance it using AI. You just saw Chris show you how you can use Ask AI as a research assistant. Brightspot also has really powerful Create with AI tools to help accelerate the productionization and the idea generation of your content. So in this case, somebody's worked really hard on that body content, but let's use AI to really quickly generate a summary of that body, so that the editor can focus on writing the long form content that is their job, and then we can optimize the messaging around that content using these AI tools. Some of our customers, like Marlowe, produce guidance to help companies stay compliant with new laws and regulations. So we can take this content and generate an AI generated summary. It could be short, it could be long, that supports the main body of the article. Within Brightspot, you can choose the model that works best for you and for your company. So different organizations have different requirements around AI. So you can use different models. You can choose the model that you want to use, Claude, Gemini, whatever it is. You can set up your own custom prompts that leverage your specific instructions to Gen AIs that take into account your brand tone and your brand language. And then transparency is really, really critical, especially in these organizations where, like you can imagine with Marlowe, where they're producing legal adjacent content, they need to always have that traceability, right, of where and how they've used AI. So you can see here that there's labels on all the fields where AI has been used, and there's a label at the top that just generally this entire piece of content may contain AI generated assets. So now that we've filled out all of our fields and created our content, let's see where it goes next. I'll pass it over to Jill.
Thanks, Lucy. So I work with a lot of customers in the global tech space that live and breathe in Slack or Microsoft Teams. So when a colleague sends an article to a product marketing director or a content manager to review, they may not be able to jump right into Brightspot. But with actionable notifications in the newest version of Brightspot, they're going to immediately get a Slack notification or a Teams notification when it's passed to them through the publishing workflow. So here, without ever having to log into Brightspot, our busiest customers can take a few actions. They can take a look at the preview. If they just have a few seconds, they can add a comment and just say, hey, can't get to this right now. I'll get to it by the end of the day. They could just transition it to the next step of the workflow right from Slack, or if they actually do have time, they could just go ahead and open up the article in Brightspot right from a link in Slack. So I'm really excited to roll this out to my customers who are always asking for Brightspot productivity hacks to make their lives easier. So now that I have the article open, as Lucy pointed out, I can immediately see at the top that it contains AI generated content. Even more importantly, I can see which specific fields AI has been leveraged. So this helps me know exactly where to put my human editorial efforts. I can always see previous versions of this article and how the AI generated content has changed over time. And now AI governance as a whole is really important to the customers that I work with, especially those with really large audiences, a lot of eyeballs on their content, a lot of accountability. So what I have here is I've set up a recurring content report that runs on a schedule, and it's going to surface all the most recent content in my org that has been touched by AI. So I get a notification in the CMS when that's run, and I can just download a CSV with the results right away, or I can view it in the analytics widget on my dashboard. So I can see exactly all of the most recent content that has been touched by AI. I can even overlay page views and analytics to see how AI generated content is performing, given I have a baseline of understanding of how our content usually performs. Now, a lot of my customers are reporting to top executives, and they ask me what insights they can get from Brightspot about their content to present to their leadership teams. So one of my favorite things about our CMS search is setting up saved searches that give me exactly what I'm looking for. So the new version of Brightspot now has a contains AI filter that I can use to find all the specific pieces of content that contain AI generated content. And I can even overlay additional fields of interest onto this search as well. So I can add authors or sections and see exactly kind of where the trends lie. And as always, I could export this search right into a CSV so I can make the data look nice for a potential presentation. My customers care a lot about transparency and tracking and traceability. So this is a really important way that Brightspot can quickly arm them with the information that they care the most about.